It started with a whisper. On the first night, when Sarah entered her grandmother's old living room, the silence felt heavier than the thick curtains that had been drawn shut for years. Dust clung to every corner, cobwebs sagged from the ceiling, and the air smelled of mothballs and forgotten memories. But what caught her attention wasn't the smell, or the dust, or even the eerie stillness. It was the chair, an old rocking chair, sitting right by the fireplace. Its wood had darkened with age, its cushion flattened from decades of use. Sarah remembered her grandmother sitting there, telling stories late into the night, ghost stories, mostly, about spirits that linger in empty rooms and shadows that never truly fade. But her grandmother was gone now. The house was hers, passed down after the funeral, though Sarah hadn't had the heart to clean it out until tonight. She dropped her suitcase by the door and glanced again at the chair. For a second, she could almost see her grandmother rocking gently, her frail hands folded neatly in her lap, eyes fixed on Sarah with that same, unsettling intensity she had always carried. Shaking the thought, Sarah muttered, "It's just a chair." But when she turned her back, the faintest creak echoed. Creak. 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 Her body froze. Slowly, she turned. The chair was moving. It rocked forward and back as if someone had just stood up. No open window. No breeze. Nothing that should have set it in motion. Sarah's throat tightened as she whispered to herself, "Old wood. Must be settling." She wanted to believe that. She needed to believe that. But then came the whisper, "Sit down." The voice was soft, raspy, as though carried from far away. Yet it was close, so close she could feel it against her ear. Sarah spun around, but the room was empty. The shadows stayed still, her heart pounded. "Hello?" she called out, her voice trembling. Silence. She stared at the chair again, and that's when it happened. The cushion sank inward, as if something unseen had pressed its weight into the seat. The wood groaned under the pressure. It was not an illusion. Someone, or something, was sitting there. Sarah stumbled backward, her legs trembling. "No. No, this isn't real." The whisper came again. Louder this time. "Closer. Sit down." Her instincts screamed at her to run, to get out of the house, but a strange force pulled at her, an invisible thread tugging her toward the chair. Her grandmother's words echoed in her memory, "Some chairs are never empty, Sarah, they hold on to the people who loved them most." Tears welled in her eyes. "Grandma?" she whispered. The rocking stopped. The cushion slowly rose back to its original shape, as if the invisible presence had stood up. Sarah's breath hitched as she watched the chair slide back and forth, slow, deliberate movements, as though it were beckoning her closer. Step by step, against her better judgment, Sarah moved toward it. She reached out a trembling hand, brushing the worn armrest. The wood was ice cold. Suddenly, the fire in the hearth roared to life on its own, flooding the room with flickering orange light. Shadows danced wildly across the walls. And then, Sarah saw it, a faint outline sitting in the chair. The shape of a woman, transparent but undeniable. Hollow eyes stared at her, and a crooked smile tugged at lips that weren't really there. The whisper came one last time. Not soft now, but commanding, "Sit down." Sarah's knees buckled. She backed away, shaking her head. "No. I can't." The chair began to rock violently. Faster. Harder. The cushion depressed again, deeper this time, as though the unseen weight had grown heavier, angrier. The fire blazed higher, almost touching the ceiling, and the walls seemed to close in. Sarah turned and bolted for the door. But it slammed shut before she could reach it. She clawed at the handle, screaming, pounding with her fists. Behind her, the rocking stopped. The silence was worse than the noise. She turned her head slowly. The chair was empty again. For a heartbeat, relief washed through her. But then, in the reflection of the dark window, she saw it, herself. Not standing at the door, but sitting in the chair. Rocking. Staring. Whispering words she could not hear. Sarah spun back around, but the seat was empty. Still, the reflection showed her trapped there, swaying back and forth as if she had already given in. and in the darkness, a voice whispered, not in her ear this time, but inside her head, "You will sit. One day." You all do. The fire died out, plunging the room into cold, suffocating silence. The only sound that remained was the steady creak, creak, creak of the empty chair, rocking itself in the dark. If this story sent chills down your spine, make sure to subscribe for more haunting tales that will keep you awake at night. Don't miss the next one, because the next one might just be about you.